99. To prepare ourselves for our best world and family life-saving, let's rewrite history, an exercise to direct and empower our present and future humanity revolution. Good history, let's keep. Medical science for better and longer lives, progress of minority and women's rights, however incomplete, and social services and retirement programs. The history I would change will sound very much like what I demand of us all now. Imagine that leaders had always been lawfully bound to provide all nations safety, not killing power. Of course, never achieved by monstrous armies and weapons, but instead by almost no soldiers in armies except for only police sufficient to control crime, already minimized thanks to a world lethal weapon ban of swords, guns, and flying explosives. Not even bows, arrows, and hatchets more than required to keep meat hunters alive. How few guns, then, would have been needed to keep all nations' borders secure from forcible mischief? Oh, my heavens, this world peace dream, unbroken by any weapons and armies of mass murder, instead of his story's billion slaughtered, 8 billion ruined, 10,000-year war party, was not this the loving reality of all 2 million years prehistory? Her story, our story, love and protection of our children's story. Hey, now that we're on a roll, let's further civilize the 10 millennia anarchy that tough, greedy, abusive power guys always called progress and glory. After formation of governments, invention of money, and collection of taxes, let's say that no rich folks would ever have been permitted to buy or otherwise twist leaders to skyrocket wealthy, tax-thieving power to crush 99% of us to weak as water, nor allowed public corrupting war merchants and haters to rob most of our rights and equality. How? Because no power-grabbing anti-democracy was ever incited by ignorant, heartless, bigoted certainty that most wrong races, beliefs, and strange others were all evil, inferior criminals needing punishment and worse. In our good history, no one even imagined this garbage. Why not? Because since chairs were first cobbled together, every school taught universal human worth and love to overmaster, unteach, and vanquish, never inflame and magnify sick thoughts and insults to uncivilize us with fear and hate of all different people. I've described how our 21st century's incredible live, face-to-face, instant world communication technology could almost magically create Zoom, Skype, world schools for all ages, thanks to the treaty we must make to grow active love everywhere, that we are minutes from doomsday without. But do you recall my ancient story of wise old men and women, after learning all about their own nation's best love and care reality and further potential, they sailed in ships thousands of years ago all over the world to visit and teach all that everyone is equal and good, mostly dedicated to helping all. So let's make this worldwide. Easy enough by sending abroad many more lovers and never any soldiers with swords, spears, guns, cannons, or missiles. Put our world's slow but sure travel for peace into our 10,000-year-old dream. You see, we're working on today's and tomorrow's motivation to change, not repeat his story, to return and enshrine her story. Now let's finish our sane and loving, not weird fantasy fable, with the question, if history had shown with Lovelock, what would have happened? 1 billion not killed, 8 billion not ruined. How much higher, faster, more heaven-bound would have been all earthlings' arc of justice? Surely for every far happier, more helping society, never destroyed by weaponeers stealing everyone's money for weapons to kill them with. But even her stories, law and love education, always directed for our world knowledge, kindness, and care, would still have crashed up against the sudden terminal danger of exploding fossil-fueled industries, CO2 emissions, heating weather, and shrinking regular rainfall, except for coastal floods. But instead of our last 110 years of monstrous, unceasing world war, clean energy, known to be our human rescue essential 60 years before you hear me today, would not have been corruptly suppressed, but boomed to world climate rescue by good and loving, never thieving and killing governments. My desperate plan for ocean steam and flood capture to water forests and refill lakes, part of the treaty to suck down fatal CO2 and destroy billions of weapons of mass destruction, no such last gap emergency rescue from doomsday would now be necessary. Instead of my proposed long odds, best case 100-year war for peace, justice, and environmental recovery, never stolen by patriarchs, Lovelock would have made technological, anti-pollution, water and rain restoring 1,000 times easier and smoother. But not changing, but learning from his story is our exercise. So back to our battle, just to last 10 more years at a time, to also give our kids a fighting chance. Use this not at all dreamy his story revision to decide what we could have, should have done to always care for, not kill each other. We must fast do now for survival and utopia. Our history lesson, stop teaching the glory of aggression and the superiority of bigots. Never again allow war merchants to steal our taxes and forbid any leader's launch of armies with arsenals. Admittedly, our complex worldwide project that must navigate huge roadblocks, not to mention ending Murder Incorporated. But when complete, your nation and home will forever have safety, love, and longevity. During these crucial years, we world citizens will lawfully require schooling and ruling for love and equality, against stupid prejudice and hate, and of course, disarmament for good. And don't tell me that with these love laws, God's only humanity empowered and realized, we could not have kept or may not still win heavenly peace. Also enabling us to clean up the very worst industrial, environmental mess. Long before our treaty is enacted worldwide, Skype your own classrooms everywhere. Each learns, teaches, and adds more lines of love and care law into our courts and governments today and tomorrow. I'm not letting you give up, nor do your part. Not until CNN's very last 2 minutes reports 9,000 mushroom clouds. Then get under your desk, pull your head down between your knees, and kiss your ass goodbye. Until then, instead of then, resurrect loving humanity with our lawsuits and treaty. Our grandkids may not come to the end of their scary struggle to survive, but they'll be alive to strive, while forever loving your legacy of fighting for their chance, their love, happiness, health, and ever-remaining purpose that you taught them by example. Keep striving, struggling, campaigning, collaborating, politicking, and suing, getting us in a whole bunch of good trouble.